Do people in Canada have cable? Like other people?
We keep this up in the playoffs. I don't care.
And at Chili's. Is it a Chili's? At Kyle's?
Achilles.
Finally.
You don't know that?
Fuck you! Get this guy the fuck out of here!
Alright, well, coming in at number 5, I got Anthony Stolars.
Now! Jets are winning the cup!
Thank you for watching and listening. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 84 of the NordCast. It is Friday, December 27th, 2024. It is probably the final episode of the NordCast in 2024. I am your host here, Nordic 97, joined with Kata. How we doing?
Good. Feeling good, tired, but slowly recovering. Stomach is full of all the Thanksgiving food that I absolutely downed with no shame whatsoever.
Thanksgiving. That was like 2 months ago.
Sorry, Christmas. My bad. I am off my rocker today. But yeah, feeling good and ready to get this episode underway.
It's all good. We also got Jack here. Second straight episode for the first time this season.
We got a streak going.
Jack, how you doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
So, first off, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all you guys. We're going to start off this episode kind of for a little bit talking about some Christmas and holiday-related things. First off, what did you guys get for Christmas?
Carter, go ahead.
Well, I have a history of breaking hockey sticks this year. I'm down 4 in the last 4 months. So not very good. I broke 2 literally the week before Christmas. I broke 1 stick the day before Christmas. So that was not ideal. So I got 2 new sticks for Christmas. One I got a check for and just went out and bought the stick yesterday. And then the other one I got wrapped under the tree. And I feel like as a kid, getting a hockey stick is one of the best things you can kind of get. I got a new laptop as well. The one that I'm currently running with is dying for school, so I needed one for school, so that's at least nice. And then a lot of clothes, and then sunglasses, and just a couple little tidbits. So all in all, a great Christmas for me.
So over under 2 weeks for you to break those sticks.
That line is very generous.
Yeah.
I don't want to break another stick this year. Sticks are so expensive. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I'm hoping I don't break another stick. That is the goal. You know how unlucky I'm gonna get.
Jack, what'd you get for Christmas?
A lot of Chicago gear, some Lululemon stuff, some Winter Classic gear, which was cool. A couple pairs of shoes. Some hats.
Did you get the Blackhawks Winter Classic jersey?
I did not, but I think I'm gonna get a Vlasic one. So
Vlasic one?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you guys this, but I'm doing something for a YouTube video where I bought a jersey off of the TikTok shop, and it was the Blackhawks Winter Classic jersey.
Oh, really? What player?
I think it was blank.
Okay.
It might have been Bedard. I'm not 100% sure, but I bought the thing for $40. So either it's going to be it's going to be an absolute steal, or I'm going to be scammed with a Chinese.
Hopefully it's a steal.
Hopefully it's a steal. I agree with that for sure. I got a lot of stuff, actually. I got a Spit and Chicklet sweatshirt, which is what I'm wearing under here. I got a PS5, which already is giving me problems. I found out that my TV is too old for this PS5, so I need to get a new TV. So one thing after another, I guess. Got a bunch of sweatshirts, Boston Bruins, Utah, all this other stuff. I got this so my car is pretty old. I don't know about you guys, but my car is a Mazda 2012. And it doesn't have one of those CarPlay things that more modern cars do. So I got a portable CarPlay that you can put in your car, and now it will do all the things that a more modern car would do in an old car. That's like a Mazda.
I need one of those.
Yeah, it's really convenient. What kind of car do you have, Jack?
I got a Honda Accord. I don't know what year, but I think it's older than 2012.
I don't think we've ever talked about our cars. Carter, what about you?
I got a 2012 Ford Edge.
Not bad. Not bad. All right, so we're all sticking with the relatively older cars.
None of us are buying new cars anytime soon. Let's just leave it
yeah.
at that.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Did you guys watch any Christmas movies over this past holiday break?
Of course.
What movies did you guys endeavor in?
My favorite one, I have two favorites, Polar Express and Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah, Polar Express is such a throwback.
Oh,
Honestly.
yeah.
What about you, Carter?
I didn't actually. I don't watch Christmas movies really. But my family, we usually watch the original Grinch, the animated one from like the 60s, I think.
Oh my god.
And then the Simpsons first episode. It's like a Christmas episode, and watch that all the time. And
Nice.
but I will say, I try and at some point in December sneak in a quick little preview of the Elf, because that's such a good movie.
If you guys had to give me your top 5 favorite Christmas movies, Carter, it might be harder for you, but Jack, what would be your top 5 list?
Oh, man. That's going to take some thinking. But off the top of my head, I'll go 5, Elf. 4. Have you guys seen Prep and Landing?
I've never heard of that.
It's like an animated like there's these two like elves and like there's a couple bad elves. It's funny stuff, but it's animated.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I have seen that when I was like way younger. It's not a bad
I've always liked that one. And then 3. Whoa. Let's see.
Oh boy.
I don't know. It's so tough for me. But 3, I'll go the Santa Claus movies, and then 2, I'll go Polar Express. 1, Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation's my grandparents' favorite movie. For me, I have to pull up my list because I made a list on Christmas Day and people got upset at me because of my list. So at number 5, I had a Christmas Story. Not really into the classics, you know. It's still really good, but I'm not into it. Number 4, I had Die Hard. Do you guys consider Die Hard a Christmas movie? Carter,
I mean, I do.
Never even seen Die Hard.
Oh, okay, all right. Number 3, Polar Express, because that's always a throwback. I remember watching that when I was a little kid. I even used to have like a little like play like a actual Polar Express that like would be like remote control, and I'd put it around my tree.
That's
sick.
Number 2, Daddy's Home 2. Have you guys ever seen those?
Yes.
So Mike Bartner really got me hooked on Daddy's Home.
Oh my gosh.
And I watched like the second one a few weeks ago, and I was like in love with it. It's funny too, because I'm watching it at the same time that I'm watching Dexter, and I'm seeing that one dude that's in Dexter as well, and it's really pissing me off. And then number 1 is The Grinch, but it's the Jim Carrey Grinch. That is like by far my favorite Christmas movie. Me and my family watch that religiously at this time of the year. It's always a classic. Shout out to the Home Alone movies too. I'm not a huge Home Alone fan, but they're still good.
Totally forgot about that.
So forgot about those movies. Yeah. So good.
Carter, can you crack up a list or?
I can do what I can. I got Elf at 1.
Okay.
Because that's probably my all-time. Number 2, I don't know if you guys have ever watched this, but as a kid, this was like the go-to Christmas movie. You guys ever watch Arthur Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. It's yes, that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah. So Arthur Christmas is one that I watched a lot. 3, I'll go Home Alone 1. I think nothing beats the first one. It's so good.
Yeah.
4. It's not really a movie, but I think the original like shortened Grinch movie, the little short that I was talking about from like the 60s, I'm putting that in there. It's really good. Like it's got everything you want in like a short little animation. It's funny and it's like good. So I'll put that one there. 5, let me go.
He's crafting.
Trying to think of like ones that I've watched.
The suspense is unreal.
I just can't think of any Christmas movies, man. What? I'll you know what? I'll put Polar Express at 5.
Okay, I like that. All right, 2 more questions. What is your guys' least favorite Christmas movie? What is one Christmas movie that you just cannot stand? You can't stand the fact of watching it.
Man, I don't know. I don't think I have one that I completely dislike.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really have one either, to be honest with you. I mean, like, I don't. Again, like, I'm kind of like Carter. Like, I watch the same like 5 to 10 Christmas movies around this time, so I'm not really like endeavoring in newer ones.
The
Carter,
Hallmark movies, I'll say that. Every Hallmark movie.
movies. Yeah, I mean every Hallmark movie is perfect, to be honest.
Unless you're a 40-year-old mom.
Yeah. Carter, you got any?
Yeah, anything after Home Alone 3.
There's a third Home Alone?
Dude, there's
4,
like 5.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
It's like new
I got
actors and
there.
everything.
Oh yeah, this is like not. This is with like the
They're
non.
irrelevant.
Yeah,
They're irrelevant.
it's irrelevant. The third one I watched like a lot. I actually kind of enjoyed that one. But everything after that, it's like you're just like keeping, like you're just drying it out, like you're thinning it, and it's horrible.
Wow, I didn't even know that there was that many Home Alones.
Yeah.
I thought there was only 2. There's 6. What?
Mhm.
Holy crap!
6 of them? Oh my god, that's ridiculous. I thought there was 4.
Talk about dragging a movie. Oh my god.
Yeah, seriously.
Holy crap.
So yeah, give those a watch if you want to be disappointed.
Yeah. Unreal, actually. I wasn't even thinking about that. Okay, enough about Christmas. Let's move on to some hockey-related news. And we're going to start off with what we missed last week. So the day that we recorded this episode last week, when we recorded our one where we talked about the Rangers and stuff, a shitload of trades happened involving the New York Rangers too, ironically enough. So second overall pick, Kaapo Kakko, who I think we even expressed in that episode that we would love to get on our teams, was traded to the Seattle Kraken in exchange for defenseman Will Borgen, a 2025 third-round pick, and a 2025 sixth-round pick. So Mike Bartner said this really well. Shout out to Mike Bartner. We're giving him a lot of shout-outs here today. He said that this was an end of an era in New York. And, yeah, Kakko overall, a second overall pick, never lived up to the potential that he was supposed to get to in New York, but he's heading over to Seattle. He's already played a couple games there for the team. They're really struggling right now. But, guys, what are your overall thoughts on this deal? Do you think that Seattle wins this trade, or is the Rangers do they win this one?
Yeah, I think it was good for the Rangers to move on from him. And I think it's always good for a player like Kakko, like still on the younger side, just for a change of scenery. And I think I was in person for his first game as a Kraken, and he hit the pipe I think twice. So he was flying out there. He looked motivated. But yeah, I think it'll be good for him and good for the Rangers for making some moves. And I don't think this is the end for the Rangers before the deadline. So.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They're still on the free fall. Carter, what about you? What do you think?
I mean, it was a trade that, I think we all kind of saw coming. It was Kaapo Kakko to the Kraken. I don't think we really expected that. But, I mean, a decent return for them, I'd say. They get a defenseman, which I think they kind of needed because they got a lot of guys that are hurt. Miller, he's hurt, which they could really use back in this lineup here. They needed some help on that back end to really start helping Shesterkin out. So I think they kind of address that with Borgen. So that's at least good for them. It sucks that, Kaapo Kakko never lived up to his potential in New York, but I think he'll do just fine in Seattle.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the thing that the Devils did, chirping at the Rangers when they beat them like 5-0?
Yeah.
Showing like the reaction to Kakko getting drafted and Jack Hughes smiling. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yes.
Some people were like, really mad at the Devils for that and said that it was classless. And I'm like, well, okay, maybe.
It's a rivalry. What do you expect?
Yeah, but it's true. So, like, I
Yeah.
mean, come on here now. But yeah, overall, in my opinion, I think that the Kraken come out on top on this deal, at least, like, you know, when you look in the long term. Maybe the Rangers, they get some future draft assets and they get a good 6th or 7th defenseman. But apart from that, Kakko is more or less probably going to win the Kraken this deal if he does turn it around. Again, Seattle has notably struggled, but if they can turn it around, I think that you know, like, I think Kakko can definitely improve on that team as well. A few other minor deals that happened this past week. Alex Carrier was traded to the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for Justin Barron going to the Nashville Predators. Again, Montreal gets a much more expensive long-term deal on Carrier, and Nashville gets a younger defender in Justin Barron. Not a big trade there, but something we'll throw in here. And then Pierre-Olivier Joseph was traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for future considerations. So again, Joseph spent like literally only 50 games with his brother. They were actually taking pictures for the Winter Classic, and then he got traded. So very unfortunate to see that for sure. Unlucky, 100%. But regardless, we're going to go back to Ranger land here because we have another big thing to talk about. It's a suspension. Matt Rempe has been suspended for 8 games for boarding and elbowing Dallas Stars defenseman Miro Heiskanen. And I'm going to be honest, guys, this is a dirty play. I don't know if you guys agree with me. I'm sure you guys will, but this is a dirty play in my eyes.
100%. Like, it's nothing but numbers the whole way.
Yeah.
Nothing but numbers, nothing but elbows up high. Like, you can't, there's nothing you can do to defend this. It's stupid. It's horrible.
Do you think it's the right amount of games?
Yeah.
Or do you think you could have got more?
Yeah. It's a ton of games, but yeah, it's the right amount.
Okay. We don't need to watch player safety for this one, right?
No, I think I understand this one.
Do you guys think a player like Matt Rempe, somebody who's like this, who's completely useless, should be in the game? Or should he not be in the NHL?
We're kind of getting to that point.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. Carter, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting really bad because, like, everyone's seen the stat recently where he has more suspensions than he does points.
Yeah, that's like actually insane.
By double. Like, he has 4 suspensions, 2 points. I mean, 3 if you count postseason, but, like, come on.
Jeez.
It's kind of crazy because, like, he's like the only, and I get why the Rangers bring him up because they need some physicality. But, like, if this is your solution to physicality, then I don't understand. You need somebody who, you know, can hit, can be physical, can piss people off, but not get suspended in the process. Like,
it's the wrong kind of physicality that they brought up.
Yes, 100%. It really, and then I see people on social media. It's like with that Luigi Mangione guy saying that, oh, it's okay because he's hot. And
What?
He's tall. Well, have you guys seen that? Have you guys seen that with Rempe? Everybody's like, oh, he's dirty, but he's so hot, so it's okay. He's hot, so it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I don't understand. And then I see so many people saying on social media that, oh, it's because he's tall. Like, you can't fall. You can't fall on him. He's tall. You can't blame him. There are players who are taller than Rempe who have played thousands of games in the NHL and literally never had this problem.
Yeah.
With his height. So that is such a brain dead argument to say that. I'm going to be so honest with you guys, but yeah, Rempe 8 games. I think there's really nothing else to it. Again, we usually we'll go into it more and watch the player safety video, but guys, we fully agree that this is the right call and that somebody like Rempe should not be in the NHL. Right?
Yeah.
Right. All right, let's move on from that. I want to talk about something that really caught my eye this past week, and I don't know, Carter might have some words to say about it. have you guys been following the Elias Pettersson versus JT Miller situation that is going on right now?
I don't think I've heard of it, actually.
So basically, there has been some things coming out in the Canadian media that Elias Pettersson and JT Miller reportedly have some beef. I'm not 100% sure what it exactly is, but they don't like each other in some shape or form. And with the Canucks losing, the Canadian media has just eaten this up. They have talked to Pettersson. Pettersson's even stormed out of interviews. They've talked to Miller, and he's been like, come on, guys. Like, this is actually ridiculous that you guys are even feeding into this as much as you guys are. And it has become a whole thing. So do you guys have any thoughts on this? Do you guys think that this could lead to a trade? I highly doubt it, but do you guys think that this could lead to something else?
I don't think it would lead to a trade, but I mean, these are grown ass men on the same team, so figure it out.
It's something that you have to figure. It's something that you need to resolve because you're not trading either of these players. Like, look at their cap hits. Like, you're not.
Yeah, those are
trading
2-star caliber guys. So
exactly, and they're all getting paid on pretty long and highly termed contracts as well. Like Pettersson's getting paid 11.6 until 2031. Miller's getting paid $8 million until 2031 as well. So, or 2030, sorry. So again, like these guys are on long-term deals. You're not moving them at all. So Carter, do you have any thoughts on this? Do you think that anything could come of this? I don't think anything comes of this, but what do you think?
I don't know. I don't think anything's actually to come of this. I think that this is just Canadian media in a high market NHL area, especially because this is a team who, was supposed to go really far last year and ended up making it to Game 7 of the second round. So the expectations were high, and when you're losing as a team in Canada who's supposed to have high expectations, Canadian media is just going to look at every single thing and run with it till it dies or until things change. I really don't think that there's much to say about this Miller Pettersson thing. I understand everyone says that, there's problems in the locker room. I think that was something that we talked about last year too. So it is a little concerning that this is a recurring story. But at the same time, these are 26 and 31-year-old men.
Yeah.
If you can't put this beef aside for your job, something that you love, something that literally you as a kid would die for, if you can't put that little beef aside, then you have bigger problems in your locker room than the little beef you have. You have ego problems, and you have, it's ridiculous.
Figure it the hell out. That's what we'll leave it at. Figure it the hell out. The next thing that I want to talk about involving comments from players is what Patrik Laine said about Columbus this past week as well. And I know Carter is going to have some thoughts on this too because he loves his glorious King Patrik Laine. So Laine basically came out. I think that the game was on Monday, right? Columbus versus Montreal. And he spoke with the media as he was set to return to Columbus for his first time that night and opened up about his time with the Blue Jackets. He said, quote, "When I signed a contract here, I made it clear that I loved being here, that it was going to be great, and I didn't want to leave." Laine said after the Canadiens' morning skate, obviously things happened, and that was kind of it for me. I'm reading this off of Puck Report, by the way. "I feel like we were doing the same thing year after year. I was tired of losing and just giving up in December to start focusing on next year. I'm not going to do that. That's frustrating as a player when you're trying to win, and some people are, not like that. They're a little too satisfied and too comfortable where they're at. It wasn't really a fit for me anymore. But here in Montreal, it doesn't matter if we're winning or losing. We're always trying our best, and that's what I felt about it in Columbus." When he was asked to clarify about he was referring to Blue Jackets players or management, Laine said, "I'll leave that to everybody's imagination, but there were certainly people that like that who were a little too comfortable and fine with losing and just doing the same thing year after year. I'm going to leave that up for discussion for everybody else." I'm gonna be honest. I'm not okay with those comments. I'm not okay with how Laine can come out here and say things like that I don't think really were true. And the city loved him too. and the players loved him, the city loved him. To come out and say that is a little wild, and maybe he is speaking for a culture problem in Columbus. But what Zach Werenski said this after the game was that, saying that stuff is bullshit, and that essentially, he, like the players treated him really well, and like, maybe there was some of that going on. But again, you shouldn't go out and say that in the media. What I do have a problem with, though, in the Columbus end is how they injured Laine. I was not a fan of that, and you guys will know that I'm not fans of things like that. So, Carter, you're the Laine fan of this podcast. What did you feel about those comments?
I mean, part of it is true, part of it isn't. I mean, I think he's a guy who was in the locker room, so he can speak on the culture problems. But putting that out there to the media is not something that you want to do as an ex-player. I think if Laine was struggling, we would be completely, saying that what is Laine talking about? But he is absolutely thriving in Montreal right now, so there could be some truth to this, right? So that is one thing. The other thing I could say is I can understand how he's, kind of feeling in like from a management perspective on Columbus giving up around December, early January type thing, because I mean, when you look at it, like Columbus is not really good at hot starts, right?
Yeah.
And usually by this time, I think we figure out what most teams are. And typically Columbus was one of the teams where it's like they're going to be fighting for that first overall pick. They're going to be top 5 pick, right? So as soon as that narrative gets pushed out and management sometimes takes a hold of that, I mean, you could see things in the locker room change where it's like, guys, let's just ease up a little bit here. Like, we're not trying to win anything. Like, we're a couple of years out from a postseason run. Like, let's just regroup and all this. And it's like, no, like, these guys play this game to win. These guys do not play this game to get a first overall pick. These guys play here to win a championship. And if what Laine is saying is true and management and the team just decides to roll over in January, that is going to take a toll on a lot of guys' mental health and just them in general. So we'll see what's to come of this. I'm not expecting too much, but I will say that the next Columbus-Montreal matchup will be one to watch out for.
I believe the fact that the management probably was like, oh, we're going to give up. I believe that. I just don't really know, like, saying that in the media I don't think is, like, particularly the best thing that you can say. And it actually, with those comments, it actually drew a lot of people to questions about how, with the Jets, with how was Laine the problem there in Winnipeg. And Carter, this is something we have beat to death on this channel, on this podcast, but do you think that Laine was at fault for what went down in Winnipeg and why he was moved? Shaking
No.
your head. Okay.
No.
Right,
It was locker room problems, from what I've heard, kind of near the end. I think in 2018, 2019, I think that there was some things with Patrick Laine to do with, obviously, Fortnite. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, there's so much that we could say about Laine in Winnipeg, his time in Winnipeg, that it was bad, that it was good, and all this in between. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think that there's sometimes locker room issues, and that's something that will need to happen.
I'm sure there was some fault with Laine with what happened there, but I'm sure there's fault with a lot of the other players that were in Winnipeg too. So I'm going to come and defend Laine for that one. All right, let's move on to what happened in Detroit yesterday. Well, Merry Christmas to Derek Lalonde. He has been fired. The Detroit Red Wings have fired head coach Derek Lalonde and have named Todd McLellan the team's new head coach. As well as that, too, assistant coach Bob Booner is also fired and was replaced with Trent Yawning. So McLellan's contract is reportedly a multi-year deal with Detroit. Carter, me and you have talked about repeatedly about how the Red Wings should let go of Derek Lalonde. They've been an absolute free fall the last couple of months. Do you think this is the right move?
I think it was. I think it is for sure. I think we're looking at a team that has been stuck in just kind of mediocrity for a little too long now. And I think they needed to put their foot down and really try and figure some things out here, and they did. This is the first time that a coach of the Detroit Red Wings under this ownership group has been fired mid-season. It's not something that happens often, so to see it is kind of shocking. But again, I think everyone kind of expected this to kind of come about. So, yeah.
Yeah. So bringing in a coach like McLellan, I think that he is somebody who got the LA Kings out of the rebuild and got them back into the playoffs. He got the San Jose Sharks into the playoffs. He may not be a coach who can possibly, win this team a Stanley Cup, which I don't think they're really aiming for that right now, to be honest with you guys. I think they're more or less aiming for a coach to get them back into the playoffs. And somebody like McLellan is a player who can do that for you. He can get this team back into the playoffs. He has that offensive and defensive type style with the 1-3-1 that I think will be a huge benefit with the Red Wings and them changing moving forward. So I think this is a great move for the Red Wings. I think it needed to happen 100%. So definitely something that needed to happen there in Detroit. And then one last piece of news before we get into trending players. The Colorado Avalanche, as of literally a half hour ago, signed Mackenzie Blackwood to a 5-year, $5.25 million extension. He was recently traded to the Avalanche from the Sharks earlier this season. So how do you guys feel about that deal? Blackwood at a 5 by 5.25.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown flashes. And, people kind of forget, he was really good with the Devils for a couple years. And I think he has some, real upside to him. And I think that deal can really pay off for Colorado. So we'll see what happens with that.
He also wasn't even that bad under San Jose either.
Yeah.
Again, I've beat this to death, but he wasn't even that bad under San Jose. In the games he has played with Colorado so far this season, he's played 4. He's 3-1 with a 2.03 and a .931. So he has been great since coming over to the Avalanche, and I love it. Carter, what about you?
Oh, sorry, I did not know a yawn was right there. Yeah, I like it. I think he's earned it. He's played really well. Honestly, both of their goalie pickups, Wedgwood and Blackwood, have both looked. The Wood guys have looked really nice. So, both have over a 930 save percentage. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be happy if I was a Colorado Avalanche fan right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, trending players now, boys. Do you guys have any trending players you guys would like to talk about? They can be World Juniors related because that's what we're going to go into next. But what do you guys have? Carter's nodding his head.
Go ahead, Carter.
Gavin McKenna.
Oh, yeah.
Gets Canada's first goal of the tournament following a 2-goal performance against the Slovak Czechia in the pre-tournament game. So he's looked absolutely unreal. So I'm very, very impressed with him. Jack's boy, Axel Sandin Pellikka, who he said was a must-watch in the tournament, could win MVP, and maybe, as Jack said, Jack's best take.
That might be his best take.
It's a little early. It's a little early still.
Yeah, it is only one game, so I'm not gonna go dive straight into it. But yeah, definitely ASP with 3 goals yesterday and an assist. He's definitely somebody who I'm looking forward to as well. And honestly, we're just gonna go straight into the World Juniors because really no NHL games happened this past week, so we don't really have trending players, to be honest with you. So let's just talk about the World Juniors a little bit. First off, that James Higgins, Gabe Perreault, and Ryan Leonard line is literally unbelievable. The BC line is literally insane. It was unreal the other night. Just phenomenal. And then Cole Hudson, looking like his brother. 5 assists against Germany. Actually insane. Carter, what do you got?
Remember what I said at the draft? Hudson. I did say Cole Hudson was going to be really good. And he's looking real good for Team USA right now.
Yep.
We were actually way higher on him than other people were. We had him late first round, I think, and I don't think he went till third round. So he was somebody who I was really looking at there too. Trey Augustine, most notably, let in 4 goals on 22 shots, let in a couple softies. Me and Jack were talking yesterday about how that's a little bit worrisome, but yeah, again, like hopefully it's just an off game from him, just to be honest with you. I hope it's just that. Any other thoughts on like any guys who have played really well? I thought Carter George looked good yesterday for Canada.
Yeah, he did look really good. Matthew Schaefer also looked really good. He had a couple, kind of tough plays that I was scratching my head at, but he put up 2 points and got into a little scrum with Consta Helenis. So, I mean, he might be 17 years old, but this guy is still going to do some of the dirty work.
Yeah, for sure. I also have someone else I want to talk about too. Switzerland's Jonas Neuenschwander, hopefully I'm saying that right, is the first 15-year-old to play in the top division of the World Junior Championship since 2001. And he joins only 4 other players to ever play at 15 years old. He is eligible for the 2027 NHL draft. Wow. And mind you guys, he's younger than all of us. All of us recording this podcast right now, he's younger than all of us by, I think, at least 2 years, right? Because you guys are, he's 2 years younger than me, and you guys are older than me. So pretty wild there to think, to be honest with you. If you guys had to drop your medal predictions, we already did this on the YouTube or the Instagram, but what would your guys' medal predictions be? Start from bronze to gold.
I'll go bronze Sweden, silver Canada, and gold USA. I'll stick with my prediction.
He's sticking with his boys. Carter, what about you?
Wow, I mean, hey, good list for Jack, but I think he's got the gold and silver medal swapped. So give me Canada, US. I'm supposed to go bronze first.
Canada bronze. Canada bronze.
Sweden, US, Canada. But I'm really scared of a Canada-US final.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Sweden and the USA, like I'm saying like Canada probably wins gold, but I feel like Sweden and the USA could really battle for like playing Canada and the golds. Like I'm going to be honest. Like it could be one of those two. So that could be interesting to see. Like if ASP can keep being ASP, I don't know. I actually had Finland winning bronze. I kind of think that it's probably going to be Sweden now, and then I have USA silver and then Canada gold. So I'm going realistic. I could ride with my boys, but I'm going to go with Canada gold, unfortunately.
No Latvia?
Yeah, no Latvia. They're probably going to smoke today.
They are getting pumped by Canada.
Yo, boys, it's Nordic here, just cutting off the part of that podcast to talk about what actually happened tonight in the Canada versus Latvia game. I'm up pretty late at night recording this, so I'm sorry if you really can't hear me that well. But basically, Latvia just upset Canada in an absolutely insane game, 3-2. Basically, it started off, Canada went up 1-0 in the second period. Latvia tied it. Canada went up 2-1, and then Latvia tied it again. Mateo Eriks, I believe I'm saying that right, scored the shootout winner for Latvia to win them the game. Again, it wasn't a shootout, so technical, but the shots were insane. Canada put up 57 shots, and the goaltender in net for Latvia, who was Leonards Felsbergs, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right, made 55 saves, so he was absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, I thought that was funny to throw in on while I was editing the podcast tonight, because that take aged like milk, that Carter said. Anywho, back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and then Latvia has the US the next day. Great.
Yeah, Latvia's got a tough 2 games.
Yeah, that's a great 2-game stretch.
They're gonna get plowed, and then they play Finland. Oh, we're gonna get relegated, aren't we? That's gonna
Hold on. But on the 30th, you got Germany.
True. We need to win that game. That game we need to win. If we don't win that game, we're gonna get relegated, like 100%. One game that I'm really looking forward to. It's on New Year's Eve. Like Canada versus the US. That could be like a gold medal preview. I am pumped for that. That is always when's the last time these two have been in the same group and have played in the prelims?
It's been a minute.
2021, I think Alexi Lafreniere's year.
Yeah,
Because we played on Boxing Day.
2021. Wasn't that when it was canceled though?
Oh, it would have been the Akil Thomas year, so it would have been the 2020 year. So the 2019-2020 year.
Yeah.
Carter, I have a question.
Yes.
What exactly is Boxing Day?
It's supposed to be like a day of sales, but it's like a Black Friday, but after Christmas.
Okay.
It's a little weird. I actually thought it was a Canadian thing, but it's actually
I
like
thought it
a
was like
No,
Boxing
it's not an actual Boxing Day, Jack.
Oh my god.
The
Yeah,
Canadians
no,
are just boxing each other. I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
about
exactly.
It's not even a Canadian thing. It's like it's a world thing or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. Any other thoughts on the World Juniors? Any players that you guys that we didn't mention that you guys want to bring up?
I hope the Blackhawks lose every game the rest of the year so we can get James Higgins.
I don't know. You guys do have the best odds right now for him, but
Yeah, we're last place right now.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes. Okay, it is time for our Christmas power rankings. So, how this is going to work, we're going to do our 1 through 8 like we usually do. But this is not going to be based off this past week because there's literally no NHL games that were played. This is going to be based off the NHL standings and our expectations for teams this season. So, it may not be exactly like how the standings are currently, but it's going to be based off of our expectations and overall NHL standings for these teams. So are you guys ready?
Ready.
All right. So this is going to work basically the same way that it usually does. So I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 5. Carter?
3.
Jack?
1.
I thought of 4, so I'm going first.
Oh, so you get the best odds? That's fucked up.
Yeah. All right. So again, I told you guys how this is going to work, but I'm going to go first. I'll have Carter go second since he was closest to my number, and then I'll have Jack go third. So, again, it's 1 through 8. Number 1, for the best team in the NHL the Christmas break, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say, because I really did not expect for them to be where they are right now, I'm going to say Winnipeg Jets. Jets are number 1. They are first in the NHL. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I did not expect them to be first in the NHL. Like, not at all. So they have to be my number 1 in my opinion. So I'm going with Jets number 1. Carter, what about you? Or Carter number 2?
Thank you. Number 2. Ooh, there's 2 teams that I'm looking at here, and I am gonna go for the team who has a little bit of a better goal differential. Give me the Washington Capitals at 2. Another team that no one expected to be here, but Alex Ovechkin is unreal. Dylan Strome is unreal, and their goaltending has actually been quite solid this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that the Capitals are clearly number 2 because, yeah, not only are they like top 5 in standings, but nobody expected them to be where they are right now. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody predicted that. All right, Jack, you got number 3.
All right. Right now, I'm going to go with the Devils. It was kind of interchangeable between them and the Knights. The Knights have 3 games at hand, and they both have the same amount of points, but I'm going to lean toward the Devils just based on the outlook of the season.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Devils definitely bouncing back from what was an awful year last season. They really fell off the cliff in the second half of the season. Hopefully they will stay the same. For me at number 4, I think I gotta go just because the one team that I do want to go with is kind of teetering off a little bit. Let me go Vegas at 4. I think that, again, they've won 4 in a row up until the Christmas break. They're absolutely rolling. They have been playing awesome. They have surprised me, to be honest with you. I didn't think they'd be this good. So I'm going with Knights at 4. All right, Carter, you get number 5.
Man, this is tough. There's 2 teams I want to go with here. Let me go with a team that has also been kind of a surprise, but in another great way. Give me the Minnesota Wild here.
Yeah, that's who
They
I
have
was-
been really good.
Yeah, that was who I was thinking as well. The Wild have been awesome. They surprised, even though they have kind of teetered down the last couple of weeks. I still think that they're still a really good team. Like, I think there's really no debating that. Jack, you get number 6.
I'm gonna go Edmonton. Same story as last year. Start off so cold and then just get hot.
I like that. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think the Oilers at number 6 is fair. Number 7 for me, guys, I'm going to go a little bit off the board. I'm going the LA Kings. Kings at
Wow.
7.
Okay.
I think LA completely surprised me. Well, let me be honest. Did you guys expect the LA Kings at 10th in the league at this point in the season?
Probably
No.
not.
I mean, again, like, I think they are definitely lower than some of the other teams who won't make this list, but I still think that they have been great, honestly. And Carter, you get the last pick at number 8.
I'm also going to go a little bit off the board here, but I think that this is the team that shouldn't sound off the board. The Colorado Avalanche have really started to turn it around since their awful start to the season. So give me the Avs.
Okay. Yeah. I'll agree with that. Avs at 8. So we're gonna do it a little bit differently this time. Can you guys give me 3 honorable mentions that did not make this, or just one per each of us? I meant. Sorry, Carter, you
Okay.
go first.
Honorable mention: Florida Panthers, the defending Cup champion.
Stole mine.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they didn't get on this list. My honorable mention is the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have actually looked really good under Craig Berube, way better than we imagined they would. And then, Jack, who's your honorable mention?
I'll go Boston.
Okay. All right, so 1 through 8 going in this order. Number 1, Winnipeg Jets. Number 2, Washington Capitals. Number 3, New Jersey Devils. Number 4, Vegas Golden Knights. Number 5, Minnesota Wild. Number 6, Edmonton Oilers. Number 7, LA Kings. And number 8, the Colorado Avalanche. Honorable mentions: Florida Panthers, Maple Leafs, and Boston Bruins. Okay, that is our power rankings for Christmas. And that's basically it for the final episode of the NordCast in 2024. First off, though, guys, we made 40 episodes over the course of this year. What is your guys' favorite memories that we did? Favorite hockey memory, favorite interview, favorite moment of the podcast? If you guys want to just blurt out a couple, we'll kind of go from there. But what do you guys have?
I'm gonna go. When I show up, the joy on your guys' faces is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Of course, it's about himself.
I know, right? Oh, so humble.
The ego on this kid.
And of course, all the interviews. Everyone who's come on, awesome.
Yeah, everyone who's come on has been great. Arda has been awesome. Arda was probably my favorite, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He was iconic. Also, like, the Stanley Cup Finals, like, were great. The playoffs were a lot of fun too.
Yeah,
Rob-
covering the playoffs is so fun.
Yeah, it's always a great time. Carter, what do you have?
Everything. Literally every episode we've ever done, I've had a blast on. So, again, just thankful to be here. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to 2025 here. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, I have some big guests lined up for 2025 as well, by the
Yeah, I
way.
love
These
to
guys
hear it.
don't even know about them, but we have some big people lined up for 2025. I also want to make a special announcement. This is going to be the last episode that will be going on my regular YouTube channel. The NordCast will be making a separate YouTube channel along with the Nord and Block podcast. These guys didn't even know about that.
No.
But basically, it's going to be a separate channel that the podcast will upload their episodes onto. We'll be making a little bit of a transition, more or less. I will be announcing it on the Instagram soon. But this channel will have clips of the podcast. It will have the interviews. It will have the Nord and Block episodes, the NordCast episodes. It will have all of that stuff on there as well. And again, it's just basically a transition from the main channel, which, again, like the podcast episodes do well, but I want to kind of build a different brand for this podcast and the other podcast on its own separate YouTube channel. So that will be coming soon. And the first episode will be published next season, or next episode on the new channel next year, obviously. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode of the NordCast. Carter, any final thoughts?
Go Canada and Sco Ducks.
Let's go Ducks. Jack, what about you?
Go USA, and thank you everyone for tuning in this year.
Hell yeah. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy holidays. And that does it for us. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to yet again another episode of the NordCast. If you enjoyed, please subscribe down below or follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to follow us on TikTok, we are at NordCast. If you want to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, follow at NordCast_. That'll do it for this episode. I'm Nordic. Thanks for listening from all the crew, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.